Well, good morning. My Bible verse for today is from 1 Thessalonians 5 verse 14. And we urge you, brothers and sisters, warn those who are idle and disruptive, encourage the disheartened, help the weak, and be patient with everyone. Now, being in lockdown has certainly brought everyday life to a standstill. But within this time of lockdown, many are telling us that life, work, church is going to be so different in the future. But how and why? These are the questions we need to ask at some stage. But is it too early for us to be talking about change? Are some just expecting everyday life to go back to normal, whatever normal is? Is this the opportunity for the church to be within a new wineskin as we go forward? Is it the time for the church to go deeper into its understanding of the kingdom of God and what the kingdom of God actually is? Lots and lots of questions about the future. But, and there's always a but, we still need to deal with the present. We need to come to terms with COVID-19. Yes, let us think about the future, but let us not forget to deal with the present. Coronaviruses were first discovered in the 1930s in chickens, and then in the 1940s found in other animals, and it wasn't until the 1960s they were first found in human beings. And let's be honest, how many of us had ever heard of coronaviruses until the year 2020? But here we are in the middle of a coronavirus pandemic, which is putting everything to the test. And I emphasise that we are in the middle. There is no obvious sign of the end of this. Public departments are under enormous pressure. Medical services are experiencing demands which have not been seen before. Going to work in an intensive care unit is now putting your own life at danger. Governments are working around the clock to come to an understanding on a daily basis of how to deal with the virus and what the virus actually is. All households are under pressure in some form or another. How do we homeschool our children? Why should we homeschool our children? There's a risk of going to the local shop. There's a risk of how we pay for the food once we get to the local shop. There is a risk of increasing credit card debt. Questions are being raised about how we can continue. Lack of income, lack of savings, future investments depleted, retirements put on hold. Some people had no savings in the first place. The anxiety of waiting to find out whether you can qualify for a government grant. These are all the things that we're going through, and it all causes stress and anxiety. Although this is a break in normality, we are learning to adapt quickly. But there is also that great fear of uncertainty, the threat of whether there will be any work for us actually to return to. We are being tested in every way. Communities are being tested in every way. There is a lot to talk about the future, but we need to come to terms with the now. We need to come to terms with the present. Let's ensure we take time to face and handle the grueling realism of what is COVID-19. I said about anxiety, I said about in fear, but there's also that bewilderment. Is this actually happening? Funerals are an integral part of society. It helps us deal with the process of grief, but only a handful of people are allowed to attend any funerals at the moment. All of this adding to mental health issues. So my message really is, let's come to terms where we are now before we make pronouncements of where we are going or where the church is going to be in the months and years to come. The future does provide us, of course, with great opportunity, but some will still try and revert back to the normal. The Bible not only delivers encouragement in periods of emergency, it also offers prudence and vision to help influence us. In the Bible verse for today, it reads encourage, or in some versions it may say comfort. It comes from the word paramuthemai, which is a doing word. It's a verb. I will encourage. I will comfort. I will console. I will exhort. And as we seek God's kingdom and his righteousness, let us not move too quickly into the future. Yes, we need to give it consideration, but let's first come to terms with this coronavirus pandemic. I trust that today you will look around you and let the circumstances we are in become a reality. Once we can find peace in God and peace in ourselves in the present, we can contemplate the potential for change once this is all over. But for today, it's one step at a time. It's one day at a time. Be blessed, stay safe, and have a good day.